The more clearly you understand yourself and your emotions, the more you become a lover of what is. Consider things as they are, not as you wish them to be. The greatest good is the knowledge of the union which the mind has with the whole nature. Pride is pleasure arising from a man's thinking too highly of himself. Hatred is increased by being reciprocated, and can on the other hand be destroyed by love. What is good for one person may not be good for another. Do not lend money to relatives, because you will lose both. It may easily come to pass that a vain man may become proud and imagine himself pleasing to all when he is in reality a universal nuisance. Those who are believed to be most abject and humble are usually most ambitious and envious. Only a fool craves money, a smart one craves opportunities. Whatsoever is contrary to nature is contrary to reason, and whatsoever is contrary to reason is absurd. None are more taken in by flattery than the proud, who wish to be the first and are not. Self-preservation is the primary and only foundation of virtue. Fear cannot be without hope, nor hope without fear. Do not waste time on things beyond your control. Focus on what is within your power. The endeavor to understand is the first and only basis of virtue. Know to laugh, not to lament, not to detest, but to understand. The greatest deception men suffer is from their own opinions. Only in relation to our imagination can things be called beautiful or ugly, well-ordered or confused. If you want the present to be different from the past, study the past. Self-complacency is pleasure accompanied by the idea of oneself as cause. All happiness or unhappiness solely depends upon the quality of the object to which we are attached by love. Nothing in nature is by chance. Something appears to be chance only because of our lack of knowledge. The world would be happier if men had the same capacity to be silent that they have to speak. Desire nothing for yourself, which you do not desire for others. Emotion, which is suffering, ceases to be suffering as soon as we form a clear and precise picture of it. Will and intellect are one and the same thing. We feel and experience ourselves to be eternal. He who seeks equality between unequals seeks an absurdity. To understand something is to be delivered of it. Don't cry and don't rage. Understand. If you want the present to be different from the past, study the past. When a man is prey to his emotions, he is not his own master. We should not judge others by their actions, but by their intentions. Reason cannot defeat emotion, and emotion can only be displaced or overcome by a stronger emotion. Everything excellent is as difficult as it is rare. Fear is the root of all superstition. Superstition is the enemy of reason. What Paul says about Peter tells us more about Paul than about Peter. Big fish eat small fish with as much right as they have power. There is no hope unmingled with fear, and no fear unmingled with hope. Do not weep. Do not wax indignant. Understand. Those who know the true use of money, and regulate the measure of wealth according to their needs, live contented with few things. The highest activity a human being can attain is learning for understanding, because to understand is to be free. No matter how thin you slice it, there will always be two sides. Minds are not conquered by force, but by love and high-mindedness. The wise man is not he who grieves for what he lacks, but he who rejoices for what he has. The greatest good we can do for others is not to share our riches, but to reveal our own. Whatsoever is in God, and without God nothing can be, or be conceived. Nature offers nothing that can be called this man's rather than another's, but under nature everything belongs to all. If men were born free, they would, so long as they remained free, form no conception of good and evil. Sin cannot be conceived in a natural state, but only in a civil state, where it is decreed by common consent what is good or bad. Be not astonished at new ideas, for it is well known to you that a thing does not therefore cease to be true because it is not accepted by many. Men believe themselves to be free, simply because they are conscious of their actions, and unconscious of the causes whereby those actions are determined. Love is pleasure accompanied by the idea of an external cause, and hatred pain accompanied by the idea of an external cause. The future of humanity depends on our ability to understand and cooperate with one another. The more we understand ourselves, the more we understand others. The more we understand others, the more we can empathize with them. He alone is free who lives with free consent under the entire guidance of reason. All happiness or unhappiness solely depends upon the quality of the object to which we are attached by love. I have made a ceaseless effort not to ridicule, not to bewail, not to scorn human actions, but to understand them.